Well, sometimes decisions are so much easier in hindsight, aren't they? We didn't want to show loads of games back to back, so we skipped one off camera before Liverpool and Coventry, and then we bring up the half century today with Southend United, having just missed the best performance of the save. Our second biggest ever win has come in the Premier League, and now we go to Anfield, the first super club we've faced this season. We've got to try and back it up. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 50, the half century of Saving Southend with me, Daniel. There's no introduction for today's video. Look at the score in the top right. We've played one game off camera, and it is without doubt the most ridiculous game we've played in this save yet. Two players out injured at the moment, no away points at all, battered in the cup, forget about that. We just beat Bristol City, our fellow promoted side, by 7 goals to 1. If you're looking forward to seeing if we can back that up, maybe not so much at Anfield in the first game today, but certainly at home to Coventry in our second game of today's doubleheader, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We've beaten Southampton, who are expected to finish 4th or 5th bottom. We've beaten Bristol City, expected to finish 3rd bottom. Now it's about can we do it with Coventry. We won 7-1 in that game thanks to Morehouse, Dans, Tanani, Hugill, Anselm, and an Aaron Presley brace off the bench. We got to the hour mark and I got to rest people. I bought on the likes of Lesnick, of PJ Smith and of Goodrum and Anselm the youngster as well. And Aaron Presley not only got his Premier League appearance, he got 2 goals with it. What an effort from him. What a fabulous day. And Sam Ammo on his second debut has had a pretty spectacular time, hasn't he? He contributed an assist in that game, a brilliant start for him. And overall, it's brilliant because we know we've said it from the very start. These first 3 home games are our chance to stay up, to get ourselves in contention. But to do that in that style, in a performance I've never seen before, was just remarkable. It was beaming. It shouldn't be happening, but if you look at the flip side of it, it could be the equivalent of Burnley this year. Beat Sheffield United 5-0 at home, haven't won any other home matches all year, and only picked up 1 other point. So it could be one of those, let's be fair. But overall, a really great display. And we're not going to get many days like that in the Premier League, or we shouldn't. So let's enjoy it while we can. Following the closure of the transfer window, I forgot to mention at the end of the last episode, we have now spent a total of 7.2 million this summer. 7 million there and a couple of $100,000 between PJ Smith and Richard Maybin. But let's be honest, it is Premier League work on a budget. And with the money that's gone out of the club for loan deals, we're not doing too badly either way. Let's go and get straight through to the first of today's games because dynamics, as you'd expect, are pretty high. I'm a bit worried about Joe Hugill, who is still unhappy about the Stoke bid from January deadline day. I've done everything I can to end it, but as it stands, he is going to be free to discuss a contract with other clubs in 3 months, and I'd be loath to lose him for free. I'm not as worried about Tyler Goodrum, but he may reduce his demands now he's not featuring much. He's only going to be a substitute really in the Premier League, and so far he's not been able to offer much when he's come on. We have got Jayden Dans, who scored his first goal of the season, having come in for the injured Diogo Fernandez. So he's starting to shine again. We talked about that move he turned down to Sunderland a couple of years ago for 14 million quid overall. He's worth 24 now. If someone wants to come in with that offer, I would very gratefully oblige. We've got Cameron Ishmael coming back from injury. There are so many good signs today. So let's have a look as we head off to Anfield and see how we can get on here. It's a very difficult test because they've added the likes of Thuram, they've developed Ben Doak, they've got Maatsen in, the new centre-half partnership and goalkeeper look strong as well. It's an exceptional team. It's a team we'd expect to do well. And away from home, we've struggled against worse teams this year. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure what Liverpool's recent finishes have been. Let's get a bit of perspective here. So they won the league 2 years ago, then finished 6th last season. Now Zidane has come in and got the job. He's playing Sobozai as a false 9. But he is playing 4-3-3, so I'm going to stick to my guns and play the 4-4-2 here. PJ Smith is going to miss out. Russell Denny easily onto the bench for him. McKenna will come in as sub 1. And then I've got to make the left back decision because we've got 3 good options now with Parks, with Ishmael coming back, and of course with deadline day signing Lesnick as well. So I'm going to leave Ishmael out. We'll play him in a 23s, I think, in a week. Or do I even bring him in? Because Parks hasn't been great. You know what? I'm going to take Parks out. I'm going to put Ishmael in. And we'll leave Lesnik on the bench, I think. Albeit, he was magnificent when he came on in the last game. Was involved in a lot of key moves going forward, but he's not quite as good as Ishmael. My ideal scenario would be Ishmael to come in and do really well till January. One of the Saudi clubs to come in and offer the 25 million, which is his release clause. It's somewhere in that region anyway. Exactly that. And then we can build with the other two. That would be the ideal. But this is the team we've gone for in full for this game. I was thinking about bringing PJ Smith in, but his injury means Morehouse will stay in the team. And the rest of it is fairly settled. It is Dan Rose in goal. Ishmael and Adeniji the fullbacks, with Kwanzaa and Parker at centre half. Tanani and Sam Amo, the two lone players out wide. Andre Santos and Morehouse in between them. And then up front it is Hugill and Dans, the old duo reunited. We've got a chance to go to Anfield and create a historic moment. It's unlikely. We've been awful away from home. Let's just go and enjoy it. Well, 5 changes for Liverpool today. I would imagine they're featuring in Europe, whether it's the Europa League having finished 6th last time. But 5 changes in. Trent Alexander-Arnold still going. Maatsen, as we mentioned, but Cody Gakpo and Szoboszlai, 2 originals in as well. And keep your eye out for James Artwell. He's dropped out the squad today. He's going to be a Ballon d'Or winner in this save. He's that good. On the bench, they've still got the likes of Konate and Elliott too. There's a lot of familiar names here at Liverpool. Let's ask the lads to carry on their last performance. Bit tougher away at Liverpool, to be fair. Against one of the relegation rivals at home, maybe you're in the ascendancy. Not sure that's going to happen here. 60,000 at Anfield, a very difficult test. We're just over 20 minutes on the clock. It's been a more stable start than we've had in some away games, to be fair. At Brighton, we conceded. At Spurs in the Cup, we were 3 down, although I think that might have even been a home game, as Ishmael heads away. It is now Liverpool on the front foot, and we're not going to expect to compete with sides like that. It's not going to decide our relegation battle. What we've got to do, though, after that Bristol City win, is not ruin the goal difference straight away. So if we can keep this to a couple of goals, keep it respectable, as Gakpo finds Szoboszlai, there's one of them, then that would be a decent afternoon for us. But to be behind after a quarter of the game, yet again, shows on the road we're going to struggle a bit. I'm still desperately chasing Loftus-Cheek because it would allow us to go a midfield 3 on the road. I may have even considered it today if Smith were fit, as we force a save there. Jarell Kwanzaa has a great opportunity against his former club. I'd imagine that once we've had the January update for FM, people like Kwanzaa won't be ever ending up in a championship. But for now, he's causing a threat against his former club. But that one's headed away as far as Maatsen and Liverpool. They get it clear. Half an hour gone, 1-0 to the hosts. We've been competitive, and if you look at the stats, we're improving in this game. Well, into first half stoppage time. It's been a quiet second half to the first half, but they are trying to get in now. Sam Amo doing his defensive work, but his clearance only goes as far as Maatsen. It's not ideal. He gets away down the left-hand side. Ball into the back post for Gakpo. Free header, he should have hit the target. Dan Rose just about had it covered. For Liverpool, 1-0 up at half-time. It's probably a fair reflection of the game. It's not been an utter pasting, but we've not been great and we've not been good enough to get a result. Santos on the yellow card we've got to be careful of. Adeniji at right back likes picking one up as well. And of course we know Ishmael can't do 90. We're a bit short up front, so do we need to protect legs there as well? There's a lot of decisions to be made when it comes to the subs. We're going to encourage the boys first because they were really lacking in spirit there for a moment. But we look at the substitutions we can make. Ishmael will be the first, no risk. Lesnik comes on for his appearance. We're going to take Tanani off, who's had a stinker for Tyler Goodrum. Hugill up front is one I'm thinking about, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to leave it at 2. We're going to wait a few more minutes. Santos on the yellow, Sam Amo not playing great. Dan struggling physically now as well. We're going to have some decisions to make here as McAllister with the cross in. Diamandi's able to get there. Kwanzaa wins it back though. Breaks away down the right-hand side for Joe Hugill. He's got space in behind him and it's Goodrum making a run. Not the best pass, but we've still got 4 up. Santos switches it to Lesnik. Second appearance for the club. He's in. Lesnik at Anfield. Crosses for Dans. It's 1-1. The VAR will check, but that looked all right. Lesnik flies in behind down the left, and on his second appearance for Southend, the director of football signing might have nicked me a point at Anfield here. Great switch of play as well from Santos. We've got some real tired legs up there. And we are now going to have to think about changes. And I'm going to go for a few of the tired boys. Morehouse off for Russell Denny. Sam Ammo off for Anselm. And Aaron Presley, wouldn't you know it, on at Anfield in place of Joe Hugill. 10 minutes to go. It is 1-1. We have the higher expected goals despite being outplayed for the most part. And if we get to the 90th minute, let me assure you now, for these 4 added on, we are going to time waste our backsides off. Because away from home, any point we can pick up this season is a precious one. And in a circumstance we're in this game, it would be a remarkable feat if we could come out with a point. So let's get these two both as deep line playmakers, maybe even a centre midfielder on defend there. And then I think up front, we'll leave it as it is, but we'll go for a time waste all the time, a play for set pieces. We'll try and slow it down a little bit as well because there's no point rushing forward. We'll drop to cautious 2. There are 4 minutes added on. Are we going to be pegged back? McAllister's free kick, well saved by Dan Rose. We know we're going to come under pressure here. 4 minutes is a long time against sides of these qualities. But look at the ball in. Good clearance from Rose. Anselm breaks away. Just get up as far as you can and waste the seconds. Goodrum up to Presley, who holds up well. Brilliant target man play. Adeniji at right back. Into Kwanzaa. Composed play. Santos to Presley. Lovely stuff. We couldn't, could we? Anselm's got an overlap from Lesnick again. He's forced wide. Plays the big ball in. Costello away as far as Alexander-Arnold. And it's inside again to Elliott. Here come Liverpool. You just feel the inevitable. There are 3 added minutes to go. This would be spectacular. Liverpool 1, Southend 1. My word, what an effort from the Southend boys. And if you look at those stats, we well and truly deserved it. The expected goals was about even. We weren't that far off on a shot counter. And despite giving up nearly all the possession, we retained the threat on the counter. Jayden Dan's price tag is growing by the day. And as we go to host Coventry next time out, if we win that, we'll be in double figures after 6 games. A remarkable start. Well, it's fitness test time ahead of the crucial game at home to Coventry, but we have had a big dose of bad news yesterday. The news icon is hidden behind my head, but look at this. Jack Morehouse, our very own Peli Raducanu, who's gone from National League to Premier League with us, is out for 3 months with a torn abdominal muscle. PJ Smith still got a knock as well. At the moment, we're actually a bit short of centre midfielders, so that Loftus-Cheek deal might have to get progressed, and maybe we have to break our wages slightly for a 1-year deal, because he's going to be a huge miss, having played, 198 league games for us across 5 divisions. He was settling in nicely in the Premier League too. So for now, we're going to be without him. We are going to be a little short. And it's a Coventry side playing that front 3 again. They've got a really good team. They've brought in the likes of Tossin at centre-half. You've got Trafford in goal, Doughty left wing-back, Madger up front. We've seen plenty of them before. But this is a really big problem for me because normally we change shape. I don't think I'm going to. Not at home and not after what happened against Bristol City. We are, though, in midfield, going to have to bring in Reece Russell-Denny. I think we are going to have to put PJ Smith on the bench, who it says can play some minutes. And we are just going to have to put up with it. We've still got no Fernandez. We've still got no Morehouse now. But the rest of the team, I think, can stay the same. Ishmael's fit enough. Adeniji's improving already from Premier League football. Sam Ammo's settling in okay. And to be fair, we might have missed Fernandez, but Jayden Dan's has been just as good. He's even been more of a goal threat so far this year. So let's go and get into it with just one change enforced in the 11. Russell Denny is in for the injured Morehouse. That means PJ Smith is back on the bench. I'm tempted to bring Lesnick in for a start because he's been brilliant off the bench. But let's keep that in reserve. We get through and submit the team for this one. It is Southend v Coventry. And this game is crucial for our survival chances. Well, maybe it's a change of shape for Coventry away from home because Tossin comes in for Alcaraz. Now, I know they've got some midfielders who can play in defence, but it does seem a bit of an odd move. I would reckon they're maybe changing away from home. Paul Warne is trying to adapt in the Premier League, but then we just got a draw playing 4-4-2 at Liverpool after 2 hammerings by Wolves and Brighton. So it doesn't really make sense at the minute. What I do know is that for us to stay up, winning games like this is crucial. We did it in style against Bristol City. We did it fortunately against Southampton. I don't really care how it comes today, as long as we can do it. Doesn't look like it's going to be the same goal fest again, but a positive start, no threat from the opposition, and long may that continue. A clean sheet is the minimum I expect today. Well, after the excitement of Bristol City and Anfield, this has not been a good game of football. It is 0-0 at the break. There is nothing in it, and it all seems to have dried up a little. I'm going to say, what can I really say here? We're going to say do it for the fans. We'll stick with it. Most of the lads motivated already. Tanani struggled a bit the last couple of games after a knock. And the defence is looking not that confident, if I'm being honest. Try and get a bit of encouragement in, get the spirits up here. But I think we're going to be relying on changes again. We're just missing that midfield spark, that dynamism we've had before. And with 25 to go, let's make our first changes. Ishmael for Lesnick, we know what he offers. I'm going to take Russell Denny off and I'm going to go for PJ Smith. We'll leave the rest for now, but I will look at both wingers soon. And maybe the hero that is Aaron Presley. Could he be the man to save us just yet? We have always struggled with this shape, where it's the one behind two strikers. It's always the one we've struggled with most. And today seems to be no exception. Appears they are going to be able to thwart us, but Tanani has got a corner kick. Now, can we nick one from a set piece? That would help. When we're not breaking through in open play, we've got to make the most of these opportunities. And from the corner, it will be Tanani to deliver to the back post. Kwanzaa's there. Parker's there. We know who it's going to. Kwanzaa wins it. Over the bar. Stays 0-0 with 15 to go. We have been the better side. There's no doubt in that. But we've not created a clear opening yet. So I'm going to take off Sam Ammo for Anselm. Goodrum will come on for Tanani. If we get to the last 5 or 10, I might just throw Presley on, who scored 2 off the bench against Bristol City. It's Doughty with the throw at left back for Coventry. Cleared as far as Santos and PJ Smith. He finds Anselm. Can we find a new hero today? Not like that. Van Ewick gets it away. He goes back to his centre-half. On a yellow card, but not really under threat at the minute. And Tosin in the middle plays it into Corbett. He's one of their bigger signings this season. Up to Maja. Almost gives it away to Dans. He was trying to poach in there. He read it well, anticipated it, but didn't quite get to it. And now it's Coventry on the attack. This could be a disaster. Clark's in. Rose is there and can't save it. It's always this tactic we struggle with. 10 minutes to go. What do we do now? We've got to go positive. We've got to encourage, but after all the hard work, that Southampton penalty save, we're going to chuck Hugill off for Presley because we want fresh legs up there. We want a big target. That Damrose penalty save against Southampton, the big equaliser against Liverpool, the thrashing of Bristol City. It's all going to be undone if we don't nick something from this game. Because it helps Coventry close the gap as well. As Clark gets in, it's a good save, Rose. And since we've gone attacking, there's actually more gaps at the back. It's not ideal. Because we're leaving 2 on 3 essentially. They're going to time waste their backsides off on this set piece. You watch. This will take an age to come in. There we go. Powell eventually delivers. Up comes Rose. Now we've got a break. Get it wide. Look, right back. There's an option. 5 minutes added on. We're doing everything we can. It's the first big slip up of the season. So far, we've won the 2 games that we knew we'd have to try to. We drew at Anfield for a bonus point, beaten comfortably in the other away games. But this one, in a game that, let's be honest, 0-0 would have been fair. We've managed to throw it away. A 1-0 defeat here against Coventry City. And despite the couple of great days we've had, winning a Premier League game 7-1 and a point at Anfield, we're still in trouble here. Because on paper, we have played the 3 easiest home games in the division now. It's just the way they've fallen at the start. And after them, we are just 3 points clear of the relegation zone. And ultimately, we've now got an awful run coming up. So unless we can replicate that Anfield performance a number of times, this is about to get pretty tricky for us. You can see from the other results, it's very tight. Not maybe what we were expecting with the bottom 4 or 5 drifting. But look at those who are favourites to come down with us. Southampton have not lost since they played us. And that game they only lost from a missed penalty. Forest were expected to be down there. They've got 10 points already. And Coventry are now up to 4 after that win. So it is going to be difficult. We're not going to be very clear of this relegation battle. We expected to be in it for 38 games, but I've got a feeling already that that one's going to be a crucial defeat. Liam Clark, the man to catch us out. God, he's not very good either. He's a centre-half with no technical ability. That just makes it even more frustrating. Pace is everything. And what a bizarre set of results. 3 comfortable defeats, a smash and grab win thanks to a penalty save, a 7-1 at home to our promoted rivals, and then a draw at Anfield, followed by defeat at home to Coventry. If many teams learn and play that front three against us, we're going to be in trouble this year. But for now, we've got a run of pretty horrid games coming up. United and Spurs, 2 of the big boys. Forest away, we just mentioned, have started well. Chelsea and Everton have been regulars near the top this season. You remember in the Championship, or League One maybe, we played Everton in the FA Cup. They had Neymar, they were in the Europa League. They're a good side. And we start December with Leicester at home. Another one of those big games. But I've got to show you the big test. You want to see us against the best opposition and how these boys do. And based on the trip to Anfield today, it's probably worthwhile viewing. So Manchester City and Arsenal, the top 2, we play back-to-back on the 4th and 8th of December. There's a lot of parallels to Luton in real life in this save, aren't there? We're going to come back for those 2, get through all of the international breaks and stuff in between. But if you're looking forward to that and you did enjoy this one, a real range of emotions through that September, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. You've now seen 1 win, 1 remarkable draw, and 2 defeats without scoring on camera. What do you think we're going to throw up next time? Surely anything other than 2 defeats would be a miracle against City and Arsenal. If you want to stay up to date and find out, then subscribe and turn the notification bell on. We'll be back in a couple of days' time to play some of the big boys in the Premier League. But between now and then, we'll be back with a head coach tomorrow. We've got transfer deadline day coming in that one. It's going to be an eventful one, so make sure you come and join me for it. If you missed the new season special yesterday, it's up in the eye above, as is the guide video from the weekend relating to dynamics. We've also got the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and so much more. But thank you very much for joining me. What's going to be a roller coaster of emotions this season. We're in the fight, but it looks like it's going to be tricky. I'll see you next time to find out how far we've fallen.